Okay. I just mentioned it in a video that I previously did, and I'm going to talk about it now because, um, like I said in the previous video, someone had put into my comment section, kind of hinted, that it was, the best route to do is to go ahead and hire, should I say, lady of the night, should I say, the E term, um, to, fulfill your, I guess, companionship needs. And again, I'm not hating on that person who does that because if that's what they do, if that's what they participate in, that's for them. But I just can't participate in paying someone, particularly a female. Well, I shouldn't even say it like that. I'm not paying anyone. I'm heterosexual, but I'm not paying a female to perform any certain acts with me. And here's the reason why. And here's what I want to tell you fellas too, because I've actually done research on this. I wrote a book on it actually. It was a fiction book, but then I was looking to expand into doing a nonfiction book on the subject. And the subject was on people that participate in, you know, the getting with escorts. And during my research, this is what I found out. Because you can look at this stuff, it's all online. Um, it, why like when the guy in the video, and I was talking about it before, when the guy is in my previous video, it was a guy, he was following a girl. And matter of fact, it's on Dee Dee's channel. If you go to Dee Dee, Dee, the video was on her channel, so you can see the whole video exchange. It's probably better to visualize it there as opposed to listening to me talking. But in the exchange, this female asked for $1,500 for this guy, I guess, to get with her. Now, in my research, when I looked, it seems like these women are charging, the professional women that do this for a living, they're charging $200, I guess, at a minimum. And that's like, I think that's average for about 30 minutes to an hour. And then they're charging as high as like 500 for, or no, 500 or to 1,000, to 1,000 to $1,500, $1,500. No, $1,000 up to $1,000 for like 60 minutes for 1 hour. So I'm saying to myself this is where I get disrespected because I know how much money I make, and I think I make pretty good money. And I'm not going to mention what my salary is, but I make pretty good money. But I still feel as though that money is broke. And I agree with Grant Cardone. Anything 400. Grant Cardone even considers $400,000 a year to be broke. He's like, I don't know how people can live off that. And I'm starting to agree. Well, I don't make that much, but I can kind of sympathize and understand where Grant Cardone is coming from because this economy is just crazy, and especially when you're a single parent and have two kids, it's rough. The kids live with me part time, but it's rough. But again, I'm battling. But I wanted to give you that backstory. Back to it. You think about this. A woman is making $200. 30. Some of them doing it for 30 minutes, so that's $400 an hour, I'm assuming. But let's just say it's $200 an hour. The average person works, what, 2,080 hours a year? Around there, 2,040 hours a year, 2,080. So if you multiply 2,080, if that person that lives that lifestyle is putting in 40 hours a week doing this, 40 hours, because that just means all she has to do is get 40 dudes to come through and pay for an hour. If you're making that type of money, 2,080 times 200, that's $400,000 a year, over $400,000 a year. So why am I going to contribute to you making equivalent or more than what I make? And you're doing, and you're doing that and I'm only getting 60 minutes, 30 minutes, 60 minutes. So why would you pay somebody to do that? I mean, for me, that's just off principle. I'm not going to help you get rich and help you become a millionaire doing the world's oldest profession. And I got to work hard. So that's number one. That's just off principle. I'm not going to pay that price. I don't even make people, even your plumbers and electricians, as ridiculous as they can get. They don't rake you over the coals that bad. Well, they actually do. But at least the one thing I can say about once a plumber or an electrician leaves my house is my house is fixed. My electricity is working, and it's going to hopefully should be working for the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years. I shouldn't have any more problems out of that. The plumber came through and fixed this. My plumbing should be good. I can't, once you get with that type of person that lives that life, you done in 60 minutes, you're going to have to continue to go back, and that's how you're going to support that. So that's just one. I'm not going to dwell on that too much. Second portion is this. I've heard, because there's some where you can see what guys have been saying, like go to Reddit. So that's where some of my sources is. I'm using Reddit as a source where guys have been explaining what their experience has been. And so when you go to Reddit, man, I probably shouldn't have put that out there because I'm trying to write this book, trying to be using these examples, but whatever. But in the Reddit thread, guys are basically saying that they paid XYZ dollars. And again, trust me, it's at least 200, these guys are saying. And you get only like one release, if you know what I mean, guys. So what? $200 I should be able to do. And then after that, if you finish before, like if you finish in 28 minutes, some of them don't offer you to, hey, you get to do whatever you want to do for a whole hour. They don't. They just rush you out. They get you up out of there. You're done. So now you're saying, damn, I may have given you $200 and I've only gotten 9 minutes, 11. So that's one. The second thing, like I said, too, is you only get the one, go round. There's a lot of restrictions and stipulations on things that you can and can't do. So my thing is too, so if I'm giving somebody $200 an hour, what are the stipulations? Like some of these guys are basically saying there are certain things that they want to do and some of the families won't do them, blah, 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 blah. The other thing is this. It's the customer service. Remember, a woman is still a woman. And from the threads, some women are better than others. Then I guess they're like businesses. Some businesses have great customer service. Some businesses have horrible customer service. So what I've been seeing online is guys have been saying this. They've given a lot of examples. One guy was basically saying that he showed up and he had to wait. He was given a time to show up. He showed up. He had to wait about another 20 something minutes. And then, he finished early and then he had to leave. And so that was one story. So I'm saying that to say this, and let me back it too. Like I said, a woman is still a woman. Women are always still thinking that they're better than us. They think life is all about them. They think that they're princesses, and we all know that they have bad behavior. They have zero accountability. And women, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. This is just what my observations have been in dealing with women in a particular manner. And I can even tell you horror stories about me doing business deals with women that have literally think that they're entitled to keep my money and not perform what they wanted to when I've invested in their business. And then they're trying, instead of taking ownership of their failures, they just go silent and run away from their problem. I'm going through that situation right now. And that's why I can no longer be going do collaborative businesses with females. It kind of given me a disposition, and I understand and I see how people can become prejudiced, because if you have a bad experience with somebody once or twice, and let's just say a white person has a bad experience with a black person, you're going to develop preconceived notions. You're going to be hesitant when you run into the third or fourth black person. So, but getting back to it, women have zero accountability. And women think that the world revolves around them. They're very egotistical. They're the ones that are narcissists when they actually want to use that word on someone else. So I'm saying, like, some of the stories that I've read in these threads where, like, people are demanding, like, one woman demanded a down payment and didn't show up. And then one guy gave this story. This was the example that I really was focused on. It was like, he showed up. He said he wanted, the girl to, I guess, be on top. She did that for a few, like 20 seconds. And then she just told him she got tired. So then she just basically, he said she basically got on all fours, and then that's the way he finished. Well, he tried to finish that way. Then he said that he laid down, and then he laid down and asked could she kind of give him hand, use her hand massage. And I'm trying to pick my words here, people. I'm trying to keep this clean, so that's why if I sound sketchy, I do apologize. But so then she said her hand was tired. So because she did it for a little bit, then she said her hand was tired, and then he said she got frustrated with him and said, "Why don't you hurry up?" And then so he basically had to give himself a hand massage, and then I think he said he released on the chest. So I don't know if I can be that graphic. I'm trying to keep this clean. So I'm just kind of looking at that like, man, so she basically was lazy. That sound typical in my interactions with female. They don't want to do any work, and they think that we're supposed to do all the work. So that was also my other point. So it's like, you're paying somebody $200. It's not like, and maybe that because this is her profession, but you don't think sometimes she's not enjoying these interactions, so she doesn't get any fulfillment out of them? Maybe these females, they've been in this profession so long, maybe they don't. But my thing is, you're paying somebody $200 for her to have maybe an experience, a release, and she's not even working hard. You're doing all the work. I mean, my thing is, for that price, I'm gonna lay there like a fish. And somebody's I'm not going to do any work. But this guy still had to put in all this work, and she didn't even want to use her hand. So these are the horror stories that I've been hearing on the thread. I mean, and just to be fair, some of this was not. Some people were saying, no, some people were defending some of these women, but it would seem like it was a lot more bad experiences in this environment than there were good. One guy even said that I guess you can't trust the pictures that they use. That a different person, comes to the door. All of this stuff, man. And then also, too, you don't know what these people have, so you're going to pay somebody to get to. I'm using $200, but these women go as high as $1,000. So you're going to go give somebody $200 just for them to possibly give you something that you can't get rid of. These are serious scenarios, and so that's why I'm saying, number one, off the break, I'm not giving you $200. That better be a most magical experience. For $200, you better be like that woman in Pretty Woman, Julia Roberts. You better be in that house all day, every day, just hugged up in the hotel room for at least 3 days. And maybe that's me being cheap. Maybe I am broke. But for $200, no, I'm not supporting and paying your stuff. And you think about a woman that's why I say women were built for intimate encounters. Guys, especially once you reach a certain age, you can get 1 or 2 releases in a day. You're done. Women can just go all day long. Even if they don't want to, they can just use lube. All they need to do is lubricate down there and just let the guy do what he does. She's going to lay there anyway, even if she was in love and in a relationship. The women just mostly lay there for the most part. You may get a good one that buck back, but you're putting in all the work. So you think about this. This is actually a joyous profession now that you think about it if you were a woman. To lay on your back, and you can probably, if you're charging by the hour, you can have, let's just say, a guy come through, if depending upon what your work ethic is, you could see 9 guys in a day. You can see 9 guys in a day. That's at least 9 guys. You've made $1,800. 9 times 2 is 18. And if you charge $200 an hour, that's $1,800 a day. And you time 1,800 by, let's just say 200 days. Even if you just work 200 days of the year and you took 165 days off. Because you got to figure weekends women have to take off. They have to take off for their cycles. But not even with that, because the woman can still use her mouth or her hand. I don't know. Or the other. I don't know what's going on. But you think about it. If she's making $1,800 a day, and you times that by 200 days that a person works throughout the year, if she just worked a bare minimum of 200 days, that is like $300 something thousand dollars a year. There's no way I'm going to pay you to make my salary. There's no way I'm going to contribute to that. And there's a possibility that you're going to give me something that I can't get rid of. And also the simple fact that I'm going to have to come in there and do all the work. I'm going to have to put up with an attitude of what you're not going to do and why somebody taking so long. Because one guy said something that's called clock watching. He said they do clock watching. And for those out there that don't know, clock watching is when the female is basically timing you and basically just while you're doing something to her, she's just basically looking at the clock like, you need to hurry up. You know how long it's been. It's been 28 minutes. It's been 45. You need to, she's just trying to hurry up to get you to release. And so they called it clock watching. Like I said, I already mentioned my source. Reddit was one of them, but you can do Googles. Googles have a whole bunch of other sources where guys talk about this stuff. And so my thing is, why am I going to pay all of these women or any woman to do any of this? I'm not even trying to pay these regulars. I'm trying to get out of taking women on dates. Matter of fact, y'all would be proud of me. I'm going to extend this video a little bit, but I'm going to keep it under 20. Y'all would be proud of me because I just went on a date with this one female. She's quirky too, real quirky. She's a good conversation, but I just don't like her texting etiquette. But I'm going to talk about that in a second. But went on a date with her, and I said, look, we met up at a little regular joint. It was just a regular little joint. I had a salad, which was good. And surprisingly, she picked a nice little small meal. I think the whole night cost me 40 something, but $52, $52. And I was like, cool. We sat there and talked for a long time. We talked for hours, but I just don't like the way she texts me. And I'm just going to say this. So I'm wrapping up. I'm just going to say this. I'm just going to talk about this female. She's just kind of like, I just hate when a person just texts me out the blue and they just start talking, and it's just kind of, it's not like, hey, how you doing? Or, hello. It would be, I just like a greeting. I do. I really like a greeting. And, but she'll just bust into it like, did you pick up your thing? Or no, just got to work. She just goes into stuff. And it's like, I'm just kind of like, where's this coming from? And then, very latent on the texting. And then the last exchange we had, I basically hit her up because, the weather's now breaking. So I hit her. So one morning, I didn't know if she was working or not. It was on a Friday morning, just to be exact. I basically let her know. I said, hey, the weather's nice. I thought you was going to come down this way and hang out with me. I said, hey, hello. But I said, the weather's nice. Thought you was going to make your way down here and hang out with me. Maybe she read that. Once again, that's why texting is bad. Because I was trying to be funny, like, I like to play Jedi mind trick, like, yeah, I thought you was coming through. Like, knowing she didn't say that, but I'm just throwing it out there like that. So then she was like, I didn't mention anything about doing anything like that. And then she just kind of went in, but she kind of got, she wasn't overly rude, but it was some other things that she said in the text. It was kind of like, I never said I wanted this or wanted that. But I was like, that was weird for her to throw something in. And then, so she said, okay, but maybe I can come through there. And then, so I hung out because I told her, well, I'm leaving the house. Just let me know. I left the house, came back, and then later on that night, then she texted me late. 9 something, 10 o'clock is late for me guys. So she texted me and she was like, yeah, I'm just wrapped up with my friend. I can make my way down there if you still want to hang. I was like, well, I'm in the house now. I don't walk because I walked 14,000 steps and my feet were beat. And so I said, I'm pretty tired. I said, but if you want, you can swing through and say, just to kind of talk and hang out. And I said, no, I'm not trying to do anything to you. I said, so just to alleviate that, just come hang out and talk. I said, if not, don't worry about it. So she said, yeah, I'd rather not. She said you weren't making me feel uncomfortable, but she said you weren't making me feel uncomfortable, but I'd rather not. I'll catch you another time. So once again, I guess because there was no free dinner or free hangouts, even if it was only the $20-something that we ate, she didn't want to come through. So I'm just kind of tired to, it just kind of shows you how some people, at least the ones that I'm running into, how they operate. But once again, this is the Political Brown Kid. Let me know what you think.